Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to NOLA Theater Talk. My name is Alan Smason. Glad to have you out there. This is the broadcast that's seen on the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, my own theatercriticism.com Facebook page, and Alan Smason's YouTube channel. Again, we keep these on archives. Everybody gets to see a little bit of theater and a little bit of previews in some cases, as tonight's show is, but also perhaps talk about some of the ongoing productions. In this particular case, we're talking about a show that's only going to really be running Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then it's over with. And so we've got Tulane Summer Lyrics, a chorus line, which is going to be presented this week, starting, as I mentioned, on Thursday. And we do want to bring in two of the people who are essential ingredients to this show. And that is, of course, the lovely Jauné Buisson, who is the director. And we also have one of New Orleans's very, very best stage actors and directors and artistic directors from time to time when called upon, Leslie Claverie. And Leslie, thank you for being here as well. Jauné, as always, it's a pleasure to have you. And I know, Leslie, you're driving, so you probably don't have a drink for you. But as you know, on our show, we always have something to drink. This is a little Cabernet that I have. Oh, you do? Good. Good for you. I don't want to take our drink. Jauné,
I'm passenger princess. I'm not driving, so
that's good. All right. So everybody's complete. And why do we do that? Well, because we started in the pandemic. We wanted to kind of connect everybody socially, and it was, hey, why not have a drink? Was the idea, and so I've been continuing at the behest of everyone else, and basically because I believe it's something that has to be done. I always endeavor to have a drink during the day or during the night whenever we do these shows. But again, a chorus line, one of the great musicals, famous, from the standpoint that it was obviously. Marvin Hamlish, Michael Bennett, not that Michael Bennett, the other Michael Bennett, not the one from Tulane Summer Lyric Michael Bennett. But again, it was a show that was remarkable in a sense, much like the producers helped to bring back Broadway from the problems that it was having after 9/11. I think that a lot of people say that a chorus line really reinvigorated Broadway and brought people back to the Great White Way. I don't know whether or not you were not around, Jauné, back in the day, but I mean, we're talking about 75 when it opened. And of course, one of the great musicals that it was opposite in that year was what is now the longest running show on Broadway, the second longest running in history, was Chicago. It was such a magnificent show that it closed out, and they had no awards, no Tony Awards for Chicago, which again defies explanation how that happened. But again, they did, and it was such a groundbreaking musical. So, Jauné, first off, as the director, I want to find out how it was. You got the nod. I mean, you deserve it, of course, but how it is that you got the nod, from I assume the now permanent artistic director, Leonard Raybon, to helm this particular production.
It came in the most humble of ways. It was just an email, and it just said directing, choreographing. And I opened up. It said chorus line in the first slot, and I mean, my hands were shaking. My knees went just totally out. I was like, of all shows, this show, it's like a dream come true. It's unbelievable. Like I just embraced this challenge with such great enthusiasm. It's been an unbelievable process.
And of course, so important to choreographers for what it did, right?
Absolutely. Every step has subtext. The whole show, not only is so athletic, but it's so artistic. The entire show is propelled through the choreography and the storytelling.
Yeah, and again, Leslie, you're taking on, is it Cassie you're doing? Whose role are you doing?
No, I'm playing Sheila. Jauné is Cassie.
You're okay. So Jauné's playing Cassie.
I've actually, yes. Okay. Cassie for the third time. There could be nobody better. But I am taking on the role of Sheila this time.
Sheila. Okay.
A little different for me. The last time I did the show, when the first time Jauné and I did the show together in 2011 at Rivertown, I was Maggie. So a little bit different, but I'm a little more mature now. So
at the ballet, right? That's right. That
yes. So that's one great thing.
Go ahead.
Sheila
I'm sorry.
still gets to sing at the ballet. So. No, it's wonderful. It's as opposed to the Maggie character who sings the really beautiful and uplifting ending of At the Ballet, Sheila kind of kicks it off with this, tale of her her rough childhood and her, growing up in this household with these parents who were constantly at war with each other. And, and it's really just an amazing, incredible song. And to be a part of the show at all is such a privilege, but to get to perform that song in particular, again, in a different role and from a different perspective has been a real treat.
So as I appreciate it, this show started out where Michael Bennett basically asked all of the actors on stage, some of which we know now today, like Priscilla Lopez, et cetera, to talk about their lives. And the actors who basically were on stage were talking about their own personal lives. And then they sort of shifted the characters around. The person who was actually talking about themselves might not have actually been doing that character when they did it, but it was reality based. And when you hear these stories, it's like there's a certain amount of truthfulness to it that you appreciate, and then when you learn that it actually is based on the actor's own experiences in their own life, that you have to really marvel at how they were able to construct it in that way. I guess as an actor, Leslie, I'd like to find out before we get to the elements of dance that Jauné is going to be talking about and directing it. Did this particular role resonate with you before in the previous productions you were in?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I certainly did not have the childhood that Sheila had. Her whole bag is talking about living in this very contentious household with her parents who kind of hated each other, and that was certainly not the household I grew up in. But in terms of some of the ways in which she has chosen to become such a guarded and sarcastic person to deal with, whatever emotion she's simply not willing to show to the world. Yeah, that I can definitely relate to on a pretty significant level. I think personality wise, we have a lot of similarities, even if those similarities stem from very different places.
And again, we start out with a large, shall I say, if I can, cattle call for people who are showing up for the auditions, and it gets whittled down eventually to who the director, and the director this time out is going to be Michael Paternostro. Is that correct?
That's right. And do you know his deep roots with the show?
I believe he did do the revival, didn't he, some time ago on Broadway?
That's right. He was an original member of the revival cast. In 2006, he was Greg. And now he's moved on to Zach. And what's so exciting is this is actually his 8th production of Chorus Line that he's been involved in. So he's just a fountain of knowledge regarding, the original staging, the revival staging, the subtext. He's just incredible. So you're going to love seeing him. And the fact that we have a Broadway dancer playing a Broadway choreographer that has turned into a director, you can't coach somebody with that. They have to have lived it, their body, the way that they stand, their understanding of the music, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the understanding of dancer lingo. And it's been a dream.
Now, I understand that we have another actor who's showing up for this, Camille.
Yes, we have Camille von Hoven, and
hey, y'all.
And she's essentially playing herself as Judy Turner.
That's fantastic. I'm glad. Welcome to the show, Camille.
Thank you.
And I believe, don't you have a connection to another famous von Hoven?
I do. The very famous Frank von Hoven, much more famous than me, but this is my turn to be famous.
Glad to have you. And again, tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the show.
So I'm playing the role of Judy Turner, and Judy Turner is very similar to me. She's tall, she's skinny, and she's very nervous. So you'll get to see some of her stories throughout the show. She's very quirky, and I'm excited for y'all to get to meet her.
And again, I see you have a little drink there too, so you got the memo. Thank goodness. Okay, very
yes,
nice.
I have my water because I am hydrating for our first dress rehearsal tonight.
And impressing your director with that, I understand that very much. So, how many actors do you have under your charge when you first start, Jauné?
Let's see. I think we're coming at around 24 with our cut dancers.
5, 6, 7, 8, and then you go into
yes. And then
So-
they're all up there kicking face and serving layouts and dancing. And then we get to whittle them down in the groups. And what's so incredible is no one's up there like faking it. The men, when you watch the men dance, you're going to be blown away. We have some excellent technicians and athlete artists up there. Jordan Mayu is incredible to watch. Aaron Wiggins just floats on the stage. So it's exciting to watch the audition, and it looks and feels like the caliber of a Broadway callback. There's nobody up there like faking the steps, you know?
Was yesterday the sitz probe?
Yes, it was.
Okay, tell me what that experience was like, all three of you, because I want to hear it from the director's standpoint, and then the two actors.
Oh, it's better than Christmas. It's the best day of the year, without a doubt. That enormous orchestra underneath you, and then you have that drummer just driving everything. Like, we got to go through Music in the Mirror yesterday, and I always kind of like get caught up in the headspace of the physical toil that that dance takes on you, because it's 11 minutes without stopping. It's like doing a 6-minute mile, and then you have to sing in the middle of it. It's a marathon and a sprint all at once. And then once we heard Kevin Esteque down in the pit, I mean, like, my feet took off. We were supposed to just be marking and not dancing, and like focused in on Jose. And I couldn't help it. It's the best night of the year. But Jose is unbelievable too. He played keyboard too in the revival as well. So, and he's good friends with many of the members of the original team. So he's just been blessing us with so much like chorus line lore. He's incredible in the pit.
And Leslie, what was your moment, if you will, for the sitz probe?
I mean, that first moment, when you get that, okay, everyone turn away from the mirror and do the routine for real, and you get that 5, 6, 7, 8, and all those horns come in, man, it's just mind boggling. I have a lot of favorite shows, but there's just nothing as thrilling, I think, in the entire history of musical theater, as having that big orchestra for that finale either. I mean, it is a real thrill. And for someone like me, who is admittedly not the most musically educated, I don't really read music outside of being able to count measures and stuff. So to watch that all come together, and all these people who set up and they just go, and it's like perfect pretty much the first time. It's like literal magic to me. It's so mind-boggling and so impressive. And we're so lucky because it's not something you always get to have. It's just unbelievable. And the quality, these, LPO musicians that they bring in, they're just absolutely incredible. So it's a real treat.
Camille,
truly.
was there
And
anything they
Jose
left out?
has been
yeah, about Jose. But was there anything that either Leslie or Jauné left out?
No, I mean, the only thing I was going to add is that Jose has been so instrumental to finding every little intricacy that we can find in the score. He knows how many measures to hold for something that's supposed to be a vamp, but he says, no, we do it 4 times, and then they go straight into this dialogue. So he has just been amazing throughout this process, and specifically last night as well.
It's got to be, uncanny to have that kind of a touchstone, if you will, to the original productions and the revival, et cetera. So, my hat's off, one for everybody to have that kind of a connection. And I'm really delighted that we're seeing this. How many times have they done this at Summer Lyric? Is this the second or third time?
It's definitely the third.
Okay.
I don't know if there was one before the production in the early 90s.
Yeah, I doubt it. I really doubt it. But I guess I'll stand corrected if so. But the fact is, it's not done all that often. It's because it is a tough show to do, right?
It is. You have to have those people up there, and they have to be able to tell their stories. So each one of the 17 members of the line is a star. And you have to find people that can bring that emotional rawness, that can sing, that can dance, and then that match who they are in terms of what the characters are asking them to be, So and I got to tell you, this title and this venue brought all the right people to us. I had the easiest time casting the show.
And again, now that you've got a permanent artistic director, we talked last week on Stepping Out on Channel 12 with Leonard. And we talked about the different shows and how he come up with what he came up with. I think the last show that he came up with was the last show that he decided to do was Carousel. But he wanted to do Company, and he wanted to also do a Chorus Line because of their importance on Broadway. And both came around the same time, early 70s and then mid 70s. So important. And I know that Leslie's sort of dropped off a little bit, but hopefully she'll come back on, probably hit a dead cell there or whatever. But again, I think that it's important that people understand the caliber of work that's done. If you have not been to a Summer Lyric Theater at Tulane production, you are in for what is essentially, the very, very, very highest of production standards. You've got a group that really comes together within less than a couple of weeks and put together a show, and it runs for approximately 5 days, and then they close. And I say approximately 5 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's really 4 days with the final dress rehearsal. And I think Leslie's coming back in, possibly.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think she might have been booted. We're trying to bring in Leslie. So there you are. Okay, I got you in, I think, twice. Let me see. Okay, so I've got you in both ways. I'm not quite sure if we can bring it in as well, but I'll leave it in. Can we see her at all right now? I think we can see her once, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, there we are. So anyway, again, this is an important show, as I sort of mentioned earlier, because of its historical context. But Leonard, now being the artistic director, et cetera, he had sort of a hand in picking out what was going to happen. And again, I'm sure that when he asked you to do this, Jauné, that he must have had a great amount of confidence in your abilities previously, having helmed other shows of this type. So
absolutely, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think 100%. This is, indicative of my track record of being able to bring big shows like Hairspray and groundbreaking new works, like being a part of that team with Palenko Jones and Michael, to bring Ragtime to our stage in less than 12 days. And I feel like having an all-female creative team this season for all 3 shows is a powerful statement about who gets to shape our stories on stage. And it's not about representation. It's about bringing fresh perspectives and emotional depth to these iconic stories. And it's really awesome to direct Chorus Line as a woman, because absolutely, without a doubt, we feel that power imbalance sometimes between Zach and these women on stage. And looking at it through this lens of 2025, I've had to actually redirect many of our younger actors going, okay, you're right, that feels right. But remember, this is 1976. We can't, go and pop off at Zach. You'd have been cut from the audition. We got to kind of remember those gender struggles and things. So Chorus Line through a female director's lens has been fascinating.
I wonder, I don't know what parameters, if you've got some ability as far as it goes. I mean, what happened in 1975, it obviously is a different world than what we have in 2025. We're talking about 50 years down the road. So are there any parts of what is written in the book in 1975 that 2025, we look back and we say, maybe we should rewrite this, or maybe we should cut this line, or is there something there that you have to deal with, or are you allowed to do that?
And it's been really interesting because I have Jose and Michael, who I call my Chorus Line encyclopedias. There are some things that they redid for the teen editions, like I believe Val's internal thoughts of the stories that she's going to fabricate for Anne about, being tied up and raped at 7. I think it has now been changed to that she packed home and ran away. And then we do have some questions about whether the line about, on Father's Day, Bobby's line about on Father's Day, I used to limp for him and pretend like I had polio because he was such a bad athlete. His dad would tell all his friends that, he had polio and he couldn't play sports that well. So there's some things there. And so Jose and Michael are actually like in communications with the team to find out which ones are appropriate for the teen editions and which ones we can use now.
This is not a show for the kids though, normally.
Well, I think it depends on who your child is. And I
Yeah.
think it depends on your family. For instance, I had the album growing up. I remember seeing the show at 11. Some things went right over my head. The show deals with very real issues, very real journeys for self-acceptance. And like my little boy is going to see the preview. He's 9. He's going to see the rehearsal tomorrow because he's going to miss the run with his baseball World Series. But these are things that in our family, we don't shy away from these topics. Now he doesn't know what gonorrhea is, but I think that's going to fly right over his head.
Hopefully that, chlamydia and everything else too.
Yeah, right. But in terms of Paul's monologue, we're not afraid of my child seeing that. Yeah. But my child is a child of the arts and a child who works with people from all walks of life, and we're really excited that he can celebrate those things, and that's not something we shy away from in terms of storytelling. Right. But I do have some people who do want to bring their children, and we said maybe around Little Brat, you get up before Greg starts talking about his experiences in the backseat of a car, and we said that maybe after Music in the Mirror, if you need to get up and leave because you're not ready to tackle the material that Paul talks about with your family, then you just have to do what's right for you. But it's not a show for children.
Yeah, we lost Leslie again, but hopefully she'll be back in shortly. Camille, how exposed were you to this show prior to you being cast?
So I feel like every dancer loves Chorus Line and has seen Chorus Line in every form, the original Broadway, the Broadway revival, the movie. So I was very, very aware of all the choreography and all the different characters. So I was very excited to try to be a part of it. And I was really honored when I was offered the role of Judy. So it's a great show, and I'm sure every dancer is familiar with it, and I'm excited for people that are not familiar with it to come see it because it really tells a great story.
And as a choreographer, Jauné, are there any specific spots that you think a lot of people who might go to see the show, who know the Marvin Hamlish music but don't really know the choreography as much, that you want to point out before they get there? Watch for this and watch what happens here. Is it at the Mirror or is it earlier on in the show?
Oh, it's the whole show. So you can't. I've seen people try to do the show where they like re-choreograph step, kick, leap, kick, touch again, and they try to do their own thing, but it's really built for that choreography. So we are honoring the Bennett choreography in the opening, and then also in the finale. And what's so exciting is that the choreography happens on these angles where we work as one. Our shoulders go up and over the person next to them so that we can dance in this straight line. And then the bounce kicks at the end with the mirrors coming in. I mean, it's just Broadway magic.
And I'm assuming, that anybody who hasn't seen it is going to be in for a great surprise, a good surprise, if they're not familiar with the show. But there are probably a few people out there who are not familiar with it. Luckily, we have Leslie back again. Thank you very much. Yay.
Sorry,
Leslie,
my phone's 1,000 years old, so
that's all right. Tell me what it was about the show that when you first started to listen to the music, or perhaps when you read about it, et cetera, that really was most endearing to you, that made you want to be a part of it.
Oh man, it's just so different. It's so different still today, I think, from anything else that's out there. I mean, and the choreography is iconic. Those things are all very true, but it is truly, it's probably the greatest example of an ensemble show that exists in musical theater, which I just live for.
And of course, Michael Bennett is so associated.
It's like an old theater trope that a lot of the times, people who play lead. So to be ensemble and everyone's just kind of working together to, did I lose?
No, you're fine. Keep going.
We can still hear you.
Well, I don't know if y'all can still hear me, but an experience like that is incredibly special and very rare.
Yeah, what I was alluding to was Michael Bennett was familiar. We were familiar with his work here, and then later on in Dreamgirls, special a director, choreographer that we, really don't get a chance to know much about because unfortunately he passed away during the AIDS epidemic. And I must kind of every now and then marvel about what if had he not been one of the victims during that time, what we might have seen, what other groundbreaking shows we would have been able to see and appreciate through his eyes. So, I think it's an homage to him that we're doing this, that it's still a relevant show, these many years, 50 years later, that, it's still something that's exciting and actually excites so many people associated with theater themselves to be a part of. So, hats off again to Tulane Summer Lyric for doing this. And again, I can't wait to see. We have just a couple minutes left. And I wanted to throw some of the pictures up that I can find, but I couldn't find any pictures. We didn't, we kind of put this thing together, cobbled it together at the last minute because we wanted to make sure that you all were available. As many of us know, the show we broadcast between 8 and 8:30, 8 to 9 o'clock. We have the ability to do these shows recordings during the day or on another day. And that's kind of what we're doing today because you, of course, are in your rehearsals right before, as we mentioned, you only have 4 days to present it. So we want to make sure that you all have the proper rehearsal time. So we wanted to be able to afford some time for you all to be here with us, to talk about it, to sort of build some more interest. And again, I wanted to, tell all of you how much I'm looking forward to it. Leslie, I know you've had some difficulty, but I want to try to mention the fact that I have been trying to get you on this show for a long time. I'm delighted you were able to make it. Dropouts, etc., notwithstanding, but I know your husband's been doing the driving there. So please tell Keith, as well as you, that we're looking forward to hopefully one Monday night when you all are not too busy with him working or you working, that maybe we can share some time and talk about your careers, because both of you have had outstanding careers. And there's so much to be said about you as a couple. I mean, you would be the Lunt Fontaines of New Orleans if we could have such a title, I think. A very important theatrical couple here in New Orleans. And I want to thank you for being on the show. Okay. So let him know that. I know you're frozen, so I know you're not the Joker and smiling like that all the time, but we want you to know we do appreciate you. Anyway, Camille, thank you for being here as well. Again, my best to your husband as well. And I'm going to wrap things up with Jauné, but thank you for being here. Okay. And Jauné, again, we have just a few days for this show to be on June the 19th through the 22nd. We want everybody to come to Tulane Summer Lyric to see A Chorus Line. And as we recap, as we get finished up, I guess I might just, quickly ask you to just sort of, let people know where they get tickets, et cetera, what the best way to do that is, et cetera. Is it online?
Yes. And you're going to want to make sure that you go to liberalarts.tulane.edu/summer-lyric-theater. Okay, so we want to make sure everyone stays safe from those ticket resellers and those scammers and everything like that.
So it's liberalarts.tulane.edu
/summer-lyric.
Is there any, it's summer-lyric, right?
Uh-huh. And that should that will get you there. Summer Lyric Theater.
Oh, theater. We got to do that too. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, that's what I was asking. THEATRE as opposed to ER, correct?
Yes, sir. RE.
All right. So that's it. liberalarts.tulane.edu summer-lyric-theater. And if you go to there, you'll be able to get tickets not only for this show, but the other two shows that are on. We already have had Leonard on earlier this year to talk about the other two remaining shows, which are, and I know Leslie's come back, but again, I hope you heard us, Leslie, talking about we'd like to have you back, okay? But when you get a chance, okay, please tell Keith that we appreciate him driving today, okay?
I will.
All right. And so we're gonna ask you to stick around for a little bit. Camille, you too. But that's the Lyric Theater, Summer Lyric Theater connection there for you to get your tickets. And again, Jauné, thank you for being with us again. It's always a pleasure. continue in your wonderful, marvelous work as a director and choreographer. You've been doing some fantastic work, and you know, you and I both have a sort of a mutual admiration society for what you do. And I appreciate you for being on the show today. And I'm going to ask you to stick around while I say goodbye to everybody. Thank you again for being here, everybody. Again, this is the NOLA Theater Folk show that we do, the NOLA Theater Talk. And again, it's on the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, our theatercriticism.com Facebook page, my own YouTube channel. Again, Alan Smason wishing you and yours a very good one, and I'll see you at the theater.